Good morning, everybody. It's Brittany at Big Cat Rescue in Tampa, Florida. And I'm searching for Sneaky. Hi! Wanted to come out and check on Jinx. Hi, sir. Looks like you're still very much capable of being flat cat. We'll go on around the corner here. So Jinx is a black leopard here at Big Cat Rescue. You guys saw that this past Monday. He went into the hospital and saw Dr. Justin. Hi, handsome. And then we brought him back out the next afternoon. So he's on some pain medication because he did get neutered. He also had 3 of his incisors removed, pretty badly damaged, which is not unusual considering how much he chews on, like, you see that log, that branch behind him. He just loves, like, chewing on the trees and logs in his enclosure. And at 21 years old, he did some damage to those teeth. So everybody's already had breakfast. So now we've just got the sleepy full belly Jinx. And again, a little bit of pain medication, so he's probably feeling a little loopy. Just a little loopy. He's just soaking up the sun. I can't blame him. It's a little chilly when you're in the shade, but it feels amazing when you're in the sun. I came out without a sweatshirt, and for a moment I was like, oh no, I made a mistake, but it feels good in the sun. For the donation. I know everybody was asking about him yesterday, so I figured we'd start with him today. It is a Thursday here at Big Cat, so we're actually closed to the public today. It's a big project day usually. And actually, we just changed that effective in 2020. We're actually closed for tours on Wednesday and Thursday. Don't eat that. Mister. Still doing his lawn care even after having teeth removed. You're so goofy. Yes, that surgery did not change you one bit. So goofy. But anyway, so we're closed for tours on Wednesdays and Thursdays now. So we're getting a lot of big projects done. And cracking me up. But today is not moving cat day. I believe it'll be next week. And you know how things go. You can never hold me to it. But I think Kali is actually going to be the next one to go on vacation, because it's almost February and we all know that she likes to predict the big game winner. So once we know who might be playing in that game, then we'll send Kali out on vacation for that. And then I believe it would be Max after that. But, you know, things change, so that's the last thing I heard. Thank you, Louise, for the donation. You're so goofy. You're so goofy. I think somebody asked if Flint has been neutered yet, and no, he has not. That poor little babe got sedated so frequently with all of his health issues in the beginning. We've kind of just been letting him have some time without it and grow and heal from all of his ailments, and it'll happen eventually, but he's not going to share an enclosure with anybody at this point, so... Yeah, Kali is undefeated as far as picking the winner for the big game. We have to call it the big game. We can't refer to it as what it really is. You guys know what I'm talking about. All right, baby. You enjoy your nap, sweet boy. Oh, he's so precious. Armani was up on a big platform over here. I have no idea if Kali will be out there for the full month or if it'll be a shorter rotation. I know right now we've got a couple big projects happening. They're cleaning up the enclosure behind Ginger and Hutch that, gosh, when I started here almost 5 years ago, it had a serval named Fluffy in it. Oh, I turned my back and Armani's gone. She was on top of that platform. And it's been vacant for quite a long time now, so that, I believe, is where they're going to move Nala serval. And then once Nala's current cage is completely cleaned up, then they would be moving Flint. But that's assuming that's still the order that they're thinking of doing. Well, you know, it's pretty scary when you do not see Manny anywhere. He's lurking somewhere. Let's walk down and see if we can catch a glimpse of Natalia. I don't get to show her that often, and she's just so pretty. Look at all this amazing green grass growing in Armani's enclosure. While the cats go to funcation and vacation, we spend those 2 weeks to a month completely cleaning up and renovating their enclosures. We pressure wash their dens and their platforms. We plant all new grass. We make sure their lockouts are full of fresh dirt and drainage rock. There's a lot of nonstop projects going on when you've got 60 cats on 67 acres. So I don't know if they have plans to move Smalls. I really hope not. She has done the absolute best in the enclosure that she's currently in. You almost always see her in that enclosure. I'm afraid she'd hide in other ones. Here's Miss Nat on her morning walk. Hi, lady. Thank you, June, for the donation. So this is Natalia. She's an Amur leopard. I think she's about 17, gonna be 18, or might already be 18 now. Hi, pretty. So she came to us from a zoo, and this behavior you're seeing is sort of a very institutionalized behavior of being raised in captivity. Let me see if I can get a better angle where she's not so close because she's a little unpredictable. Where are you going? Actually, let's see. She has a huge enclosure, but after she eats breakfast, she just walks. Almost every section of her enclosure has a little walking trail like that in it. Isn't she gorgeous? She's a lot fluffier than most leopards because she'd be native to colder regions. She's got to keep her girly figure. And yeah, she gets extra fluffy when it gets colder here. Her fur definitely thickens up, and then as soon as it starts to get really hot again, she'll thin back down. Thanks to everybody answering questions for me today. Thank you, Patricia, for the donation. Amanda, no, she doesn't do this all the time. This is a behavior that she usually has primarily after she eats. You know, cats that would be born in the wild, they'd roam hundreds of square miles a day. And so when she eats, I think she just walks and walks and walks till she feels, you know, like she's digested enough. And then she's got 2 areas that she really likes to lay. Cats 20 hours a day. So she really likes her den. That's like kind of behind me here. And then she's got a big platform she likes too. But she's definitely got this behavior, I think, from being in a smaller enclosure for most of her life. She almost doesn't know what to do with the space. Anytime we've put her on funcation, she's always been like really timid and like intimidated by having that much space. So thank you guys for the questions. The first cat that we saw, I think somebody's asking about Jinx. He's a 21-year-old black leopard. I think somebody called it a black panther. There's no such thing as a black panther. Panthers are cougars, and they come in that reddish tan or brown color. Those are also known as mountain lions, pumas, Florida panthers, but they don't have a melanistic trait that we know of anyway. You could teach us all a thing or two about being active after we eat, though. Well, a lot of zoos have night houses, and so they're kind of a small concrete cell where they keep cats locked in those for most of the time, and then when they're open to the public, then they're let out into their other enclosures. That's way they can guarantee that the public will see the cat. So, all right, Nat Nat, back, leave you to your routine. If I come back in about 10-15 minutes, she'll be settled up on our platform. If any of you guys are brand new and you've never watched any of our lives, or you're not familiar with us here at Big Cat Rescue, feel free to let us know that in the comments. That way we can definitely help you with questions that you might have. It's still very odd. I haven't seen Manny. Kind of want to go search for him because I'm curious as to where he likes hanging out in all that new space. Frankie, no, cats are actually solitary by nature. In the wild, the only kind of cat that usually stays in large groups for pretty much their whole life are lions. But all other cats, once they reach sexual maturity, they don't want to share space. They don't want to compete for food. They can get very, very aggressive. And so most of the time they'd prefer to be alone. They go out, they find a mate, they might have babies, and then they all split up once those babies are old enough. So we don't do any breeding here. We don't think that that's right to breed cats for life in prison. So we don't breed here, but Manny, where's Mr. Man? This is hilarious. So unless cats came to us with someone already and we make sure they're spayed and neutered, we don't put cats together here. Oh, now I see him. I found him. That's one of those, like, oh, you gotta find the scariest cat on property if you can't find him at first. I spotted that belly. We're not gonna wake him up or anything, but see a jaguar belly in there? And one eye? Hi, mister. Here, there we go. There's a face. Hi. So that's Manny Jaguar. All right, I just had to get eyes on you. Just wanted to get eyes on you. I found all your neighbors. So Manny got a huge expansion. His enclosure starts over there at that double-decker platform, and it goes way back there, but it used to end at this little tunnel system that you see here. And when we lost Sundari, we decided to put this part of the Funcation tunnel back together and keep it up permanently. And now Manny has access to all of Sundari's old enclosure, and it's huge. So he's got like a massive enclosure now. All right. Well, we've seen Jinx. We saw Natalia, and we got a cute little glimpse of Manny actually relaxing in a den, which is very nice. Manny and Natalia both came to us from the same zoo. So we did Panicure this week, which is a quarterly wormer that we give the cats. And so they got much smaller diets all week in order to make sure that they were taking their medicine. And today is the first day where they get that full diet again. So I think we're gonna see a lot of very sleepy, full belly cats. They eat They groom, they sleep. So. I'll be surprised. Oh, I see a cougar out. I see 2 cougars out. Hi! This looks like Aries. Oh, and I hear Hutch. Hi, Hutch. Hi, mister. Hi, Aries. Be quiet so you can hear him purring. Well, hello, Fairborn, Ohio. I was born and raised in the Dayton area. I hear you, Hutch. I know. So this is Aries. He lives here with Orion and Artemis, his brother and sister. So they do live together in a group. They've all been spayed and neutered, of course. It's a very loud purr. Cougars are the largest cat that can still purr. Everything larger is more of a roar or sound, the sound of like a chainsaw almost. These guys came here about 14 years ago, so they just turned 14 in October. And they had come to us because a hunter shot and killed their mother in Idaho. Yeah, all cats went back on full diets today, but Kimba always acts like he's starving, so that's not even because of the medication. Kimba and Max and Simba actually got full diets all week because they are so food motivated that they don't care if there's medicine in it. That might change with age and once they get super settled in, but they've only been here not even 2 full months yet. Hi, Artie. This is Artemis. Where are you going? Artemis is the sister. She's like, are you gonna open this door? We do separate them for feeding and for enrichment and for things like sickles or operant because they can get very, very aggressive. Even though these guys have grown up here and they were raised by people, they're still very, very wild and unpredictable and dangerous. See. We'll walk around the corner here and see if Orion is out. So again, these are cougars. Depending on the region that you would find these is what people refer to them as. So they could be pumas or mountain screamers, mountain lions, catamounts. Sorry, lady, your cleaners will let you over there. Yeah. So we separate them at feeding, and then when our cleaners come out, they make sure that all the food is gone so that nobody would fight over it. And then they put all 3 of them back together. You see a very big cougar in a very small den. He loves this den. This is almost always where you're going to find Orion. This is Orion. So Artemis is the smallest, Aries is the largest, and Orion is kind of in between. So again, this is Big Cat Rescue in Tampa, Florida. If you came in late, I've answered a lot of questions that I'm seeing people ask right now, so you can always rewatch this at dailybigcat.com, or thank you to everybody who's answering questions for me. We've already seen Jinx. Oh, very sleepy. Jinx and Natalia. Now we've seen all 3 of the cougar cubs. Very sleepy. I think it's really funny if any of you guys have been watching Kimba regularly, either on his feeding camera or the Explore camera for vacation. You can find all those cameras at bigcatcams.com. But Catherine and I were talking about, I think, all that space, because Simba was kind of that way too. All that space is really, because those poor cats were raised in circus cages and they never even felt grass until ADI, got in there and got them out. They literally go out into that 2.5 acre space and they find their big boy voices. I think it was yesterday morning. Yeah, it might have been yesterday morning. One of our master keepers was out closing lockouts before feeding time. And I just start hearing all this crazy roaring coming from out back. And I'm used to that because it's usually Amanda. But I know Amanda, and she usually only gives you 2, maybe 3 giant roars, like max, when you're out there closing lockouts. And this one just kept going and going and going until the keeper was able to close the door and get out of there. Hi, Hutchie. What are you doing? Are you being sneaky? And it was Kimba. So, yeah, Kimba found his roar, which is pretty cool, but also terrifying. But good for him. So this is Hutch. He's an African serval. Hey, mister. Hi, mister. You're so handsome. So Nala serval will be moving over here closer to Hutch and Ginger. And then that'll leave some space to move around some of the bobcats up front. If you guys missed my live yesterday, we got a really rare peek at Filmo, which was awesome. Where are you going? Where are you going? I know. So Hutch was the typical story for all the servals that we have here. He had been bred into the pet industry and was trying to be kept as a house pet. But he's an African serval, so he is pretty hissy and fierce, and he's got some major claws. And that person quickly realized that they made a mistake and that he was not meant to live inside of a house. These cats rub and chew and bite and claw and pee on everything in order to mark their territory. So even though he's rubbing on the fence like he wants me to touch him, he's really using all those scent glands to mark his territory, that's his side of the fence. We find it really dangerous and disrespectful to touch the cats. They wouldn't let you do it in the wild, so why trap them in a cage or a house and try to force your wishes on them? The risk would never be worth the reward. You can pet a domestic cat or dog or a horse and you're going to have the same experience. I agree. At least they didn't declaw Hutch. Because he's already got enough health problems. He was very overweight when he came here, and I think probably due to that and his age, because even though he acts young, he is actually up there in age. Aren't you, babe? And he's got some severe arthritis in his back legs and his back knees, and you can kind of see, like, in that leg right there, it looks like there's a little bit of a swelling. He's on pain medication because he's got a little bit of a dislocated knee, similar to what King Tut has, and it's going to require surgery. So, but he gets around really well. It's not affecting any of that, but yeah, you're a very silly boy. Very silly boy. You're so handsome. You're very handsome. No. Alright, should we go see if your neighbor's out? We haven't seen Ginger lately. He's making biscuits. All right. Let's go see if Ginger's out. Close this gate. Thought I clipped it. Flung open. Are you running? Are you running? Okay, Ginger. Usually she's over here in her ferns. If not, I'm going to try to find Max and Marianne. I don't think we've seen them recently either. Well, let's see. Not in her ferns. Oh, here she is. In her very sunny spot over here. Hi, Gigi. Hi, Ginger. I know. The official serval hello. Hi. Good morning. Victoria, there's absolutely no reason for me to be armed here at Big Cat Rescue. We have so many safety protocols in place. We would never ever have to put ourselves or the cats in danger of needing to carry a weapon here. We're an accredited sanctuary. We're held to very, very high standards. And my camera gets close to the cats, but I'm still about 3 feet away from them. Oh, are you gonna play with your Christmas tree now? You're a little late. Look at her in there. Well, that was goofy. Yes, Jennifer. Unfortunately, many cats that we've rescued, including big cats like lions and tigers, have been declawed. That's the sickest part about people having the ego to think that they can have these types of animals as pets. And that's because they think if they take away their claws, and in some cases we've seen horrible people actually defang cats, so take their canine teeth, thinking that that'll make them safer as well. I know, I followed you. I followed you. I'm gonna go see your bobcat neighbors though. And the saddest part about seeing them declawed is seeing how in their old age they become so arthritic and have to deal with so much pain, all because somebody thought it'd be cool to own one, or that it would be, you know, this awesome thing for them to own this cat. Didn't she look cute in her tree? She's so silly. I posted a really silly photo of her on Instagram. It was either yesterday or the day before. When she first came out of the hospital after breaking her leg, she was hilarious. She was just rubbing and rolling on everything. Oh, here's Des. Hi, Des. I know. Are you grooming? Des is a 3-legged serval. I won't get any closer. You get very mad at me. I know, babe. So Des was found wandering on the side of a road in Arizona. I know, I interrupted your grooming session. Let me go look for this bobcat and I'll be back. Oh, I passed her. They're so good at using their camouflage. Hi. Here's Marianne. Where's Maxie? Where's Max? This is Marianne Bobcat. Yeah, if Dez is too close to the side of the cage, I don't walk right up to him because he gets very upset. And since he does only have 3 legs and very, very arthritic, I really hate to stress him out like that. It's better when he's kind of in the middle of his enclosure and I can zoom in on him while he's laying down. Yes, we do have 2 caracals, but I show them all the time, so, and I think you've seen them plenty, Scott. I think you ask every single live to show the caracals, and I do quite a bit. Cyrus is my buddy, but we saw them already this week, so I'm trying to show cats that we don't get to see that often. Of course, Marianne is being typical cat to us. Let's see. Where's Max? No, oh, there's Max. I'm not going to be able to get to you over there. Max is, let me see him. Let me see if I can zoom. Here's Max. Not too far away. Max and Marianne do live together. 2 bobcats, again, spayed and neutered. Yeah, I think the caracals were on yesterday. I think Flint was also on yesterday. Max is watching a squirrel above him. Hopefully that squirrel has good balance. Max is notorious for catching birds and squirrels. All right, cuteness. I know. Yeah, Dez didn't move, so I'm not gonna stress him. Let's see. I think I showed you guys that Nabisco got a new home. Let's go see if Nabisco, Tiger Lily, Cute Lona, and Dryden are visible, and then that's probably where we're gonna call it for today. Assuming I can get out of this gate. Yeah, when you come here on a tour, you're out on this public barricade, but I am a keeper and a staff member here, and I've been certified to work with all of these cats. There's Biscuit. Nabisco really, really loves his little area up there. Look at him stalking. Are you stalking me? Are you stalking me? Oh my goodness. You're so stinking cute. This is Nabisco. Dawn, as we mentioned when we did the on Jinx, that is Big Cat Rescue's policy. It also can help prevent a lot of health issues. So even at his age, it was important. We also only sedate if it's absolutely necessary, and it was time for us to examine him because he had been charted as having a couple masses, and so it was in his best interest to get absolutely everything that we could possibly need to get done all at once so that we don't have to sedate him regularly. I hear you. Are you wiggling your butt? This is 100% pounce mode. It's a little bit scary over here though because he's at like face level over here instead of at feet level, so. Are you done intimidating your neighbors? He has made poor Kelowna kind of go back a few steps. Kelowna is extremely shy anyway, and now with this crazy bobcat neighbor, poor thing didn't want to eat for the first couple of days. I had to come out late and feed her in a totally different area. sneak her some snacks throughout the day because she just did not know what to think of him at first. Now she's back to normal, but yeah, I don't see Dryden or Kelowna. They usually are definitely hiding at this point because the keepers are coming. Oh, hi. There's Dryden. Hi, mister. I bet Kelowna's hiding in the other den, huh? So good at ignoring me. So Kelowna's probably in this den that's right here. They also get separated for feeding, so they're not back together yet. Alright, well, let's see if Lily's hanging around somewhere. She might already be in her den too. It's the thing about getting out here after feeding time is you're not always guaranteed to see them. Of course, if you come out before feeding time, all you get are a bunch of pacey, excited, swipey cats. Nope, not under there, so she must be in her den. Can't blame them. It's kind of been getting up into the low 80s again lately, so. Well, I'm gonna keep walking till I find you a cat to see, and then we'll call it a day. Yeah, no, she's definitely in her den. Not in any of her regular spots. And Lovey. Poor Lovey, we were gonna try to get her in lockout on Monday for vaccines. We weren't gonna bring her into the hospital, but she's due for some vaccines, and she caught on to what was happening and put a big heck no on that, and so I had to feed her the next day, and she did not want to go in lockout. Oh, there's Miss Lovebug. Now we found a cat. I knew you'd be over here in the sun. It's very bright. So this is Lovey. Look at that little tail. Look at that little tail. Go hide your face. Hi, pretty. Hi, pretty. So, Lovey Bobcat here. So, if you guys want to watch this from the beginning, it'll be at dailybigcat.com. It'll also post automatically on our Facebook page. You'll see Jinx and all 3 cougar cubs, Natalia, Hutch. We saw Max and Marianne, a little glimpse at Dez. And Nabisco and his shenanigans. We've got Lovey basking in the sun. Ooh, my camera. What was that? Oh, alright, well, might be the end of that. Alright, everybody. Well, thank you guys so much for the donations and for sharing this feed. That helps us reach new people. And I appreciate all of you guys helping all of our newbies in the comments. And I hope you guys have a great day.